Have you lost your job? Have you lost a loved one? Are you exhausted caring for your parents, for your kids? Well, you can find immediate relief when you read Sheila Mack's new #1 bestseller, Bootstraps and Bra Straps. It contains the Boots formula to move from rock bottom back into action in any situation, especially right now. If life has knocked you down, pick yourself up with Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Get your copy at www.SheilaMack.com today.
Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and today we have special guest. Hold on a second. We have special guest, Dr. Linda Hansen. And Dr. Linda has been doing some incredible work, and I'm trying to find her information here. So why did it close? All right. And so today we have special guest Linda Hansen. She is PhD and is the CEO and co-founder of Duel Inc. The innovation of Duel is a gamified online fundraising platform derived from her PhD studies on the neurochemical and psychological motivational systems of humans in both positive and negative directions. Incredible. She has also found that there was a lack of innovation in the online fundraising sector and developed Duel to address this need and also to capitalize on the motivational reward system in humans to get involved in raising money and awareness for good causes. Wow, that sounds so interesting. Now, the platform motivates engagement through fun competition, winning prizes, challenges, social media, sharing selfies and videos, etc. Dr. Hansen has owned and operated a Colorado-based guest ranch corporate event facility, Piney River Ranch, for 8 years, with 20 to 25 employees, and several leasing departments, which was the recipient of Business of the Year in Vail Valley. She has found Vail Valley. Thank you. She has founded 2 nonprofit organizations, Family Time Foundation and Pure Light Foundation, and is on the executive board of the Southern California Committee for the Parliament of the World's Religions. Wow. So we have so much to discuss today. Welcome to the show, Dr. Linda.
Thank you. And you have to know that my daughter is my co-founder. So we are a tech company with a mother-daughter founding team, which is really remarkable and special. So it's really amazing. So my daughter's Jasmine Tomalatai. She's got 3 little ones, so she can't be on the show. But she's amazing, and she's got that younger generation tech savvy feel to it.
That's incredible. That is such a gift to be able to be in business together as a family. Now, this show is actually based on my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. I wrote the book right before our pandemic hit. And I did not have a crystal ball, but there was so much that I couldn't even fathom that's going on our planet right now. And so I'd love for you to share a time in your business or personal life where you experienced a difficult situation and how you got back on track.
So we launched our company, Duel. Duel is FUNDDUEL.com if anyone wants to look at the site while we're live. And we did that in March of 2020. right at the beginning of the pandemic. So we, as many companies, had to scramble and adapt to a COVID world. But it was brilliant for us. We're a virtual gamified fundraising platform that uses social media challenges, videos, and photos. And we immediately incorporated virtual live streaming, but we did it really in a fun way. So we became this really great solution because, as you know, in 2020, there was a lot of Zoom fatigue by the end of the year, and it was boring. And so all these virtual fundraising events, we just were spectacular because we had this gamification, this fun game that's incorporated into the live streaming event. And we've done live events as well since then. But it was really a great moment for us to show how versatile we were. And we really adapted, and now we're doing some global campaigns that are just absolutely breathtaking, stunning. The impact that it's going to have is just magnificent.
Wow. So can you go into a little bit more detail about how Duel works?
Sure. And just so you know, it's based on my background as my PhD was in the neurochemical and the psychological motivation system of humans. And we are driven by certain things. We love certain things. We love to do certain things. And so that was missing in the fundraising sector. So we wanted to create a tool that was great for organizations, not just individuals that were in crisis, like GoFundMe has been around 10 years. And there's been a massive lack of innovation, and there's been no gamification. So all of that from my studies has gone into FunDuel to create people to motivate them to get involved. And one of those things is team-based competition. You know that sports and business is all based on competition. It's very motivating to get involved. So we created a team-based competition model where you could also use the spectacular, amazing magic of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which raised a stunning $115 million in 2.5 months. This is democratizing fundraising. That's what ALS Ice Bucket Challenge did. So we incorporated that whole challenge-based video, photo, selfie, and monetized it for good. So each team and each team captain can have a really crazy fun challenge, have people get on their phone, and on FunDuel, they can join this campaign and take a selfie, share it on social media. That's how a campaign expands exponentially. It's a chain reaction marketing, and it works. And so people love prizes, they love competition, they love social media sharing. That's very addictive. So we're using all those good addictions that we have to do good for others.
Wow. And could you name some of the people you've worked with already for the fundraising?
Yeah, so we've done some really cool things with St. Jude was really special, but we worked with several major hospitals. One of them was the Arizona Burn Center in Valley-Wise, and that was one of our first virtual live stream events. And what was really amazing about that was it was a canceled event where 300 people who were high-end privileged donors would have been in a ballroom and raised money for Valley-Wise. We took that event within 3 weeks. We put it together. We raised about 5 times more than they've ever raised. And we have no cost up front, so they were thrilled with that. We took a small percentage on the back end. They got views all over the world. It was really amazing. They had 6,000 views of this campaign, and they had corporate partners that loved that because if you can imagine, it's all about looking good, doing good, but also getting some ROI, which is return on investment. So they were seen by 6,000 people. Well, in the case of St. Jude, we did this incredible campaign with their Miami group. It was really fun. It was called Smash a Cake to Smash Pediatric Cancer, and that was their challenge. The team captains were social media influencers in the Miami area. So you had media, corporate partners, celebrities, but then you had the masses, the basic ordinary family that got out a cake. They bought it, they smashed it. It was funny. It was shared on social media. So we've had up to 400,000 views of some of our campaigns. What we have coming up this fall is just off the charts, incredible, exciting, because we're going to have these global campaigns where countries are competing, and yeah, it's thrilling and exciting.
Yes, that sounds incredible. And I'd love to hear now, how did this come to you? Where did it come from, this idea? Did you always want to make something different, or did you always like games as a kid? How did this show up?
Wonderful question. I actually had finished my PhD, and I was actually studying the addiction to violence. And human beings are addicted to violence. And video games, I was really curious about video games, and I studied ancient cultures, but we get a neurochemical and a psychological rise out of watching violence. So, and that feeds the whole video gaming industry. And some of it can be very harmful. My daughter and I were, after I graduated, and this was in 2017, we just said, wouldn't it be cool if we could take the selfie, which is very narcissistic and self-absorbed, and this young generation's all on their phones, constantly, look at me doing this cool thing, look at me doing this cool thing, wow. And it's a lot of times presenting a fake self. And so we said, wouldn't it be cool if we could gamify the sharing of selfies so we rewarded people for thinking about others, doing good for others. And that actually that is actually a very motivating thing too. Every soul on this planet wants to do good. They want to make a difference with their life. So to take this selfie, so that was the beginning of it, this conversation with my daughter and I. And then as I was thinking about it, I thought, we got to make this work. We got to make it special. We got to, gamification is in the business world. And I thought, why is it that, Kickstarter is 10 years old. Indiegogo is 10 years old. GoFundMe is 10 years old. That's a beg and donate protocol. What is available for nonprofits, organizations, churches, grassroots organizations, universities? Where's the fun, great platform where you can raise money and have some fun doing it and love it and motivate people to get involved? And so I was really thinking about that problem. And then one night, in the middle of the night, I think I got a divine download. I believe in God, and he just sort of gave me this big divine download. And I was writing all night long, wow, how we could do this. And then I was so thrilled and excited because I realized this could have incredible impact on the whole giving space. We are revolutionizing and transforming the giving space in ways that could never have been imagined. And I'm very motivated by that. I want to have a huge impact, not a small impact for good, but a great impact. And so this is my swan song to go out of this world. I'm a little older, should be retired, but I'm a grandma. I have 13 grandkids, but I want this tool to just blow it out of the water and democratize fundraising. That's a huge thing.
Yes. Now I'm gonna put the camera just on you, and I'd love for you to share your top insights from what you learned studying this human behavior, and how we can apply it as business owners, as parents. How can we apply it in our lives? So I'm gonna put the camera on you.
Okay. And can you still hear me? Hello. I think I can. So what can you learn from this? Gamification is a really powerful tool. And if you want to motivate anyone to do anything, make it fun. Make a game out of it. Even with your children or your cohorts or in any business, there have a rewarding element that is prize driven, that has some gamification to it, because it is motivating. Also, just positive rewards, positive storytelling is massive. Our society now is so video content driven, and if you can do anything with video content storytelling that really makes an impact, that briefly tells us about something, that's amazing. One of our first campaigns with this was with 10 schools for the deaf, and the first videos that we got in were of these wonderful children that were hand signing to music that they couldn't hear. And they did it together with their schools. And when we watched these videos, it was so moving. We were all in tears. And we want to we want to pull some heartstrings. And that's really, really powerful and impactful. And it motivates people to get engaged and involved.
That is so good and important. If you're a teacher listening and a parent running a business, teams, years ago, I got into politics in the weirdest way. I am not political. And my best friend's husband was running for assembly, and they wanted me to help because we're neighbors and friends. And the next thing you know, they had me doing just about everything. And they said, "What's your party?" I said, "Free Spirit." I was super young. I didn't know anything. But what I knew was the fun part. So I would make getting the vote out fun. We did a lot of things for equal education for all, nonpartisan as well. And so that was the thing where I didn't know what that was, but that's what it was. It was making it fun. People would come together to gather, but I always made it fun. And so that's the difference between going to, oh my gosh, we got to go do this work, or we've got to donate and, we're on our own budget. But when you make it fun, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah. And I think another huge piece of Duel, and it really comes from my interfaith work and working with people of all backgrounds. On our team, we have people from the left, from the right, from every different background, from every ethnic background, and we all work together. And trans-organizational collaboration is powerful. And one of the best ways to break down barriers of hatred and of looking at people in the wrong way is to work together with them on a good cause. I worked on an interfaith commune for my master's, and it was really wonderful because every day this interfaith commune that had lasted for 40 years, it lasted because these people of all kinds of religious backgrounds worked together, and they called it service. When we serve, when we love, and we look at a problem and we solve it together, then that's one of the best peace building kind of activities that you can have. And our goal is to bring high corporate C-suite network people, high-end donors, celebrities, but they're not the only ones that want to do good. And they have had the privilege of giving in the past. If you think about all the gala events, they're all very exclusive, high-end, golf tournaments. This really excludes the masses. And the masses in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge proved, wow, if we together want to do something fun and crazy, and we feel like we're doing it together and raising awareness for a disease that we don't even know anything about, that's powerful. So what we've combined and what I like to look at Duel as is a hub of bringing everyone together to solve problems, to raise awareness. I mean, it's not only raising dollars, but massive awareness. For St. Jude, I learned so much about what they do for pediatric cancer patients. With the Schools for the Deaf, I learned that 70% of deaf people are unemployed throughout the rest of their life. That's a high percentage. If we're not aware of these things, then we're in the dark. But by putting this on social media, by making it a game, and by getting involved together, we can solve some serious, serious problems.
That's incredible. I love that. Now, how did you get your daughter involved to help you at the same time and get into the same business? How did that show up?
We get along really great, and she's really into, her background was international peace building, so that's kind of in her blood. And we are a really tight-knit family. We all really care about this earth and what's happening to it. And so I think all of my children are that way. My oldest daughter has her own marriage counseling business. She survived cancer while she was pregnant, so she's done podcasts all over the world. I have another son who's very, very into the earth and what we're doing with it. He went to Haiti and served there. So I think it's sort of in our blood, and it's been remarkable. It's been the funnest thing that we could have ever done together. And the female power is really great. And in the tech world, we are a massive minority, and there are huge roadblocks to being a female founded company, but we've been able to do it. And I'm kind of the big networking people. I love to meet people. I love to get out. And we have met some stunning people. I have partners all over the globe. We're expanding to Brazil in a huge way. I have partners in South Africa, New Zealand, Canada. It's just remarkable. And then we're working with people that are in the education department of the UN. So we're going to be doing a big, huge global readathon. When you get out, so I love getting out there and connecting, but the tech part of it is tough. So my daughter has the coding skill. She can code a little bit.
Nice.
And even for this interview, I wanted her to turn off my notifications on my computer, and it looks like it didn't work. I heard the notification come through, so sorry about that.
That's okay. Yes, there's so much to it. And no matter what we do, it seems we have to learn tech a little bit or have somebody help out a lot. And yeah, I know my website, I had my new website built, and they dropped the ball in the middle of the process. And so I spent about 150 hours learning WordPress and finishing the all by myself. And it was so hard and time consuming with work and then staying up all night. But sometimes that's what you have to do. At that point, I needed to get it done by a deadline. And so you have to learn as you go. And it's okay. I couldn't even figure out how to turn off notifications when I first started the show. And then I was okay. Thank goodness I have a Mac. Once you go Mac, you never go back. And so I called, and I'm Sheila Mac. And so I called the Mac people, and I was like, please help me. And luckily they walked me through a lot. So yes. Now, it sounds like this is definitely a passion, heart-based project for you and your daughter, and it's helping so many people. What a beautiful thing to be able to do. Now, what would be the process for a new nonprofit maybe that's looking for fundraising? How would they work with you? What's that process look like?
Yeah, we vet our organizations. We don't let anyone just use FundDuel, so it's not accessible. You just reach out to us, and we create the campaign page for you. Everything is free up front. We are flexible at our back end fee. So basically, we'll typically get on a Zoom and just find out, what you want to do. And we're a perfect add-on for live events. We've actually done some major sporting events. So we worked with USA Sumo, and we created a campaign page for them. They came to us and they said, let's do this event. And we, in Long Beach, at the USA Sumo Arena, we had a competition between the East stands and the West stands. And during the show, and we just worked this all out with them into their program, we helped develop prizes for them. We had a big, huge sumo sculpture that was actually put together by an amazing talent, Tom Woodruff, who was the special effects director for Alien and Predator. He made this amazing sumo sculpture, which was the grand prize. So during this event, we had the East stands versus the West stands, and they just projected this leaderboard once in a while throughout the day of the tournament onto a leaderboard, and you could see who was winning. And whatever side was winning, we would throw up rubber sumo dolls, and it was spectacular. So we're not only working for events like that, but corporate conferences. I actually just had a call yesterday for a major corporate conference, and if you think about it, what a great ROI for your corporate conference. You can gamify it, have teams, you have amazing PR, because what we found is that when people are doing a FundDuel, everything's shared on social media. So you get this mess. People are all sharing and funny great videos, or just their selfies are shared, and then it gets great PR for an event or a corporate conference. This is changing the way we do fundraising. It's always been the C-suite of corporate conference, corporations that give a sponsorship check,
Right.
and then they get into a program or on a step and repeat. FundDuel allows corporations to raise money in a massive way for a nonprofit. So we actually worked with Disney, and we were going to do their movie, and they were going to raise money for Wounded Warrior. We got a little close to the launch of the movie, but each of the team captains were characters in the movie. So our flexibility, we sit down and brainstorm really cool ideas. And we're raising money right now for, we're a Kickstarter as well. So we're not only for nonprofit, but for profit, and we're raising money for a movie. It's so cool because we just came up with this amazing idea, and we work with people because we love their ideas. And they're going to do a battle of the bands, and the winning band gets to be in the film project. And then they're also giving a percentage to Boys and Girls Club. So now you have this amazing project that's going to fund a movie. You get bands all over the country that were shut down last year that didn't get to perform, and they get to highlight their music, get their fan base involved, and then raise money for Boys and Girls Club. So my whole goal is not just to work with nonprofits. The whole goal is to help nonprofits, but let's shift the burden away from them of fundraising, which they have to do all the time. And it's a drag. It's a drag on their resources, a drag on their time. Let's get the corporate world, the McDonald's, every McDonald's to compete to raise money. Let's get every RE/MAX office or US Bank or, Geico versus Progressive. Let's get them to do a commercial competition and raise money for a charity. So I'm taking your question and sort of stretching it because
I love it. I love it. This is
the vision of this is not just the nonprofit, which is a typical thing when we think of, fundraisers are just nonprofits, but we need to be the ones raising money for them.
Yes, that is so important. Now, I've attended so many Tony Robbins events, and we always at Business Mastery, one of the things he does is we have competitions. We get into teams, and then we all fundraise. And how 50,000, 100,000 is raised in a day or two over this fun competition. And he's been doing that for years. And it's like, why can't we just continue doing that? Because everybody's having fun. Everybody calls everybody on their list or puts it on the social media, and the funds come in. It's for a worthy cause. At the end of the Business Mastery program, we're all happy. We've learned about business, and we've raised a bunch of funds for something we really care about. And I think that's what it's all about.
Sheila, you don't realize that Tony Robbins, when I first started this, they said, make your dream advisory board, and Tony Robbins is on there. So if you have any connections, anyone out there to Tony Robbins, I wanted to find out about us. One of mine was to have OWN Network, have Oprah Winfrey. And remarkably, we're working with Ron Deshay. He's a former producer of American Idol. He did American Idol Gives. We are going to do this amazing global 2-day concert that's going to be televised, and hopefully it will be on her network, and fingers crossed. And it's going to be spectacular because we're using corporate celebrity, but then all the fan bases, all the employees of these major corporations are all going to be the team captains. It's so great to go onto our site and visually see what I'm talking about, because go onto our website, www.funduel.com, FUNDDUEL.com, go to our trending duels and just check out all the various crazy different campaigns we have. But Tony Robbins, Sheila, if you can make that happen, you get stock options.
Oh, there you go. Well, yes, we'll see. We'll see about that, because I know he's really big on fundraising and does so much for that, for so many causes. and I love that. It just makes all the difference.
Yeah, I love him. I love his whole philosophy and what he does for people's lives. So if we could do something like that at his conferences and the many others that are out there, music festivals, we're doing some film festivals, can raise money at any event and make it a fun game. So share it on social media. So we're perfect for that.
Yes. Now, did you play a lot of games with the kids growing up, or what did the game part come in?
That's really interesting. Yeah, I actually don't like games too much. My dad, I always played chess with him, and he was a nuclear physicist, and he always beat me.
Yes.
So I didn't like it too much. But what I think I actually, I love sporting events. A big sports. I love sports. I love competition. I love the Olympics, Special Olympics. I think those are great venues, and the World Cup soccer. I love that. So I think that kind of competition is very thrilling and motivating to me. And, people just love to beat someone else, and they love their team. Teamwork is very, very powerful. When we have to work with a team and we know that we might outdo another team, that's just thrilling and motivating. And it happens on FunDuel. I mean, it was really funny when we were beta testing. Our programmers were, and we have two co-founders that are programmers, Matthew Julander and Weston Can. They're amazing programmers. They had this duel, and it was spaces versus tabs. Now, if you're in the programming world, when you're using your keyboard, you either use spaces or tabs. And so they created this duel, spaces versus tabs. And my daughter and I got on the spaces team. And for some reason, we wanted to beat the programmers. And so we out donated them. And this was just a beta test. And I thought, we've got something here. This is special because I don't even care about spaces versus tabs. I don't even know what that means. But they were hilarious. They had these funny YouTube videos about spaces versus tabs on there, and it was funny. But we had this thing between my daughter and I that we're going to beat those guys. And so there's just this the rivalries that we have with other things. I think it would be great to have a duel between Army versus Navy, or maybe Broncos versus Raiders, or we can get some of these sports teams involved. And winning prizes, everyone loves a game show. I do love game shows. I love Jeopardy, and why have those lasted so long? We love to see people, whether they're going to win or lose. There's something about that. And we love to win ourselves. And so on FunDuel, you actually get to win prizes and get to go to cool places and get to have experiences with celebrities, but you get to be engaged with them, and you get to participate by just using your selfie for good. It's really powerful. It's amazing. I'm kind of humbled by it.
It sounds like you have found something that's going to help so many people on the planet, that's aligned with your vision and mission in life. And that is something that whatever you're doing, it's who you're being. And when you have your alignment with your core values, your life purpose, and your vision, you're able to really make a difference, but you're also blessed financially. And it's a tough one, because those listening in, maybe you work somewhere and you think, how in the world can I bring this or something like this to where I work? But you can.
Absolutely. So easy.
Yes.
So easy.
And so just going on your site, getting some different ideas, learning about it. If you're able to get your company involved, they can call in, or if you have a company, and that, or I don't know, schedule a call or whatever. The process is they would contact you to schedule an appointment.
Yeah, www.funduel.com/start. Just do that, and we've got people on standby to help you out and get you engaged. And yes, company philanthropy is just in the dark ages, and young employees for companies want to be doing social impact. They want to be doing good. They love competition. Imagine the power of the teamwork that you can involve in your company by doing a fun duel. And we've done it on a small scale, but we really, I mean, we're pretty new, as you can see. So I would really love to get this in a big way into our corporate world. And if anyone has any connections, let us know. Let's work together. Um, it's not about I'm better than you and no, we're all just struggling to make a difference and make a good impact. And many of us are struggling to survive. Let's help each other out. We're here for you, and we want to work with anybody on
Yes.
anything.
Yes. Now, I look at it like right now, our planet is very divided. There's fear, there's stress. We're going through some times that we can't, I couldn't even fathom these times that we're going through. I thought we were better than pandemics. I thought we were beyond that. I heard about the ones in the past and I thought, no, we wash our hands. We got medicine now, we're good. But here it is. And so the most important thing we can have in our companies, in our families, in our world is to create a sense of community, to be able to give back and help. It changes the heart, it changes the energy of where the world is going. And I think that's so important now more than ever. And there's so many causes more than usual that we could get involved in and just have fun. We need to have fun at work, going back to work, have fun with your family so your kids don't feel your fear or stress. And, that's going to bring everything else. The community brings you everything you need. When you're volunteering for something you care about, it's ridiculous, but I have had so many job offers in my life because I was volunteering, helping out, and then I got paid positions. So if you're not working right now, get involved with a campaign like this or start one and get involved, and they will see your talents. Next thing you know, you'll have 5 job offers that you didn't even apply for because you're just doing what you love. Like Linda is doing, I can tell you're doing what you love. I just get chills. And I think it's incredible. I love it. And so that's the important part.
Sheila, I just absolutely love you. I think you're amazing, and I'm so glad I got to be on this show. And it's people like you that, there's just so many people that want to do good. It's just magnificent and brilliant. And what's interesting in the tech world is it's a very male-dominated industry, and fintech, automation, crypto, blockchain. It's where the male brain tends to go. And for some reason, in the fundraising sector, there's not been a lot of innovation, and it's just kind of been a wide open space for us. I'm actually stunned that no one has. People go, "Wow, why didn't I think of this? This is so great." Why? But I watched a TED Talk the other day about, the next big idea in automation and fintech. And it's all about making money. And it was all driven by this goal of making money. And I asked the tech world, where is the next big idea in compassion? Where is the next big idea that motivates forgiveness? Where is the next big idea in kindness, in civility, in working together, in empathy? And what I was motivated by, I could be a professor, and I am co-editing a book on violence right now, but I could have spent all my time, but I saw this opportunity where we could use technology but motivate people to do what's right, to motivate morality. And that's so vacant in this world. And our young people are emptying the pews of their religious organizations. It's shifting. And so what is that moral compass? What does the internet teach us? Our kids are on their phones all the time. Where is that headed? And so that was a big piece behind what we're doing. Not just I want to create a company and scale it and be bought out or go public, which we probably will do. But what's happening along the way, and how are we making an impact and driving something better.
Yes, yes. I think there's something about chasing money. When you chase money, it runs away from you. The only time I ever had money problems in my entire life was when I listened to people that told me go chase money. And you know, it was really weird. I've had so many blessings and success when I was looking for the purpose behind what I was doing, and I was richly blessed. Opened gift stores at 23 years old, and my main goal was creating I work with Job Training Partnership Act, and I had close to 200 kids that went through my program that were at risk coming out of foster care. That was my heart. And they got the training, and some of them we're still in connection, and they have their own businesses now. That's how long ago it was. but with that, I was able to buy 4 buildings, 4 other stores, and I was able to raise my 6 kids. I adopted 3 of my own, so I was able to raise these kids, give them the best education, college, paid for, and that all came through the heart. And so when you're going with your heart first, everything else shows up, even your company. It doesn't matter. I was selling gifts, but I was helping the community, and it was felt. And it blessed my company and my family so much. And that for any business, that's what this is all about, being able to raise funds for something beyond yourself and really be connected to the community. And you go to sleep at night and you know you did your best. And everything shows up somehow. You know, it may come in a different way, but I'm always taken care of. And that's just oddly the way it's been for me. And I really believe that. So I'm so grateful, Linda, to have you on the show and to share about all you're doing. It's just really such a perfect thing. And many people hear this, and I believe they show up in perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you talk about community, you know, the internet has made us a global community, and each one of our campaigns has gone to every country and every different continent. And we are a global community, and we can, you know, just so cool to be working with our friend Jetro in Brazil, who's going to bring Duel to Brazil. We're working with soccer teams and celebrities there, and what a need there is in Brazil and many of the countries in South America and Africa. A lot of partnerships there, sustainable, good things that we can do globally. And we need to think about our brothers and sisters everywhere. And
yes.
And if anyone wants to join us, we have a lot of coordinators. Beautiful people like you, Sheila, have showed up and want to do something. We have the tool ready to go, so just use it. and we give percentages, and you know, so it's lovely.
It is. That sounds so incredible. So now we are coming to the end of our talking time. One of my questions I usually ask at the end is, if you were to go back in time to your younger, like 10-year-old or so self, what advice would you give you?
Yeah, I think at 10 years old, I did think that the world was my oyster. And then, you know, in subsequent years, especially through high school, you get beaten down. But I think that spark that's in every child, keep it alive, and don't be beaten down, and keep going and go for your dreams and make a difference along the way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And now that we're going to end this show, I'd love for you to one more time share where people can reach you to get started and learn more.
Yes. www.fundduel.com with 2 D's in the middle. FUNDDUEL.com/start. And visit us, and we'll take care of you, and we'll make magic happen.
Outstanding. All right. And for those tuning in, we'll be back after these messages. Thank you again, Linda, for being a guest on the show.
Thank you. God bless you.
You too. All right, if you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and some of the things that I wanted to remind you of is if you or a family, friend, or loved one is having a tough situation or tough time getting back on track after COVID or some other interesting situation knocked you down this year, please don't give up hope. And remember, it is okay to ask for help when you need it. In fact, sometimes that is the hardest thing for us to do, especially us strong people. And I can promise you that it is the way to get back on track quickly. So one of the things to keep in mind if you have someone you know or you yourself may need a resource this year, I'm kind of the unofficial spokesperson for the 211, and the 211 is the new 411 for information on all resources in every single state in the United States and every province in Canada. If you Google 211 and your state, for instance, 211 New York, 211 Nevada, 211 California, you will find all the resources available in your area and be able to quickly connect for yourself or your loved one, co-workers, friends, people in your church, your temple, synagogue. So it's really important to just keep these simple numbers 211 in mind. There's resources for food banks, for how to get help with rental assistance, mortgage assistance, ways to get help with finding a job. Maybe you're not going to do your dream job for a second here while you're getting back on track. That's not forever either. But just to get food on the table or get some bills paid, sometimes we got to roll up our sleeves and do whatever we need to do to get back on track. And that's okay too, because it's about who you're being in all you're doing and how you show up that's going to make all the difference. You can bring in that beautiful energy of who you are into anything that you're doing. And so there's also a lot going on right now as we run into more lockdowns and vaccines coming out. There's a lot of things going on this year. Overview of the Boots formula. In December of 2017, I lost my house, my car, and my cat due to a fire. It sounds like a country music song, but that was my reality. And yet another rock bottom situation after a long period of doing really well. When we're able to retrain our minds to focus on the positives, we're able to enjoy more of life, even while we're rebuilding and rebooting. We're going to starve those negative thoughts, not feeding them with our attention, time, or energy. When you focus on the good parts of your life, those things that you can be grateful for in this moment, that energy will bring even more good things your way. Contribute and utilize your unique talent. You're not thinking about the problem at hand. You're not showing up for approval. You're just being your best self. You use your rock bottom to set the direction for your life beyond this rock bottom situation. It's important that you are really honest about where you are in this situation. You can't lie because you don't want to give up your personal responsibility. You have to own every part of this and realize it could be worse. It could be better, but this is it. If you aren't able to be honest about where you're starting from, you won't be able to clearly see where you want to go or how to get there. The next letter of Boots will help you answer that. The second O is for order of operations. The third step of the Boots formula is finding the order of operations. When you're in a rock bottom moment, there are certain steps you know you need to take to get out of it, and you need to complete those steps in a certain order. T is for thinking. The fourth step of the Boots formula is thinking. If you recall your thinking at the most successful points in your life, it's probably vastly different from your thinking when a crisis brings you to a rock bottom situation. Often, at the toughest times, our thinking goes to survival. We lose sight of the possibilities and opportunities that are before us. This is where thinking comes into play. It's vital to have a strong mindset in order to keep our boots on and walk out of a rough spot in life. Thinking leads you to a clear vision of where you want to go on that map of your desired outcome. You've made the decision that you're going to New York. Your bags are packed. You have an idea of how you're going to get there. You know the steps you need to take, though you may not know how the hell you're going to take them all, but you've made up your mind. That's where you're going. Tony Robbins often says, it's in the moment of decision that one's destiny is shaped. That decision is the thought that comes before the action steps required to reach your new goal. Everything happens in this step, in that decision. You can see it, feel it, embody it. Things start to show up because you're looking for them and you're open to them. You'll start getting the results you want just because that decision is in your mind. It becomes that real to you. Once you have that clear vision in your mind, you have to see yourself as if you already are living in your desired reality. You're just doing the steps to get there. S is for stepping up. The fifth and final step of the Boots formula is a literal step, stepping up. You've gone through the first 4 steps. You've decided how you're going to show up. You have a picture of where you're going. You know the steps you need to take, and you've made the decision to actually do something. It would be nice if you could just sit, think, and meditate your desired outcome into being. But that's not the way it works. There is some validity to the idea of manifesting what you want, but at the same time, you have to believe enough to actually go out there and take the risk. You have to overcome your fear of giving your first presentation, making your first speech, or writing your first book. You have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to take those steps. S is for stepping up by taking the personal responsibility required for a real reboot. While the B in Boots is about being in the present with who you are in the situation, S is for taking those steps toward the future you want. Although there will be many times in life where we have little or no true personal responsibility for an event that alters our lives, it is always a gift to own your own response and reactions to situations. What can you do to shift the energy and step up to your part in the situation? In order to reboot, one must be willing to step into action. This last step ties back to the first one. It all comes back to being. How are you going to be when you're going through this? Sometimes it's ugly, dirty, not pretty, and certainly not fun. Nobody's going to help you move, so you have to pack all the boxes yourself. Procrastinating isn't going to help. You just have to take those action steps you defined in the order of operations. When you first start, it's overwhelming because you feel like you're still buried in the situation. Chaos is all around. But because you've done the first 4 steps of Boots, you have an action plan. You're not doing 1,000 steps today. You just have to take 1. You do the things that you mapped out one by one, and that helps you see, okay, I can do that. You have clarity on the action steps, so now it's time to actually get moving. Are you ready to strap on your boots and start walking?
Is not one size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation.
To grab a copy of my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. It is now available on Audible,
as well as on Amazon and Kindle, and at www.sheilamac.com.